The next part, the sum of the measures of LMO and OMN in example 4 is 180 degrees. Two angles, and notice it says two, these are all pairs. Two angles who have the sum of 180 are called supplementary. That's going to be our next set of vocabulary. Supplementary. Supplementary angles are a sum of 180. Similarly, if the sum of the angles is 90 degrees, if the sum, again, two angles, 2 is 90, that is complementary. And that's how we spell complementary. You don't spell it like complement, like with an I. You spell it like that. So let's look at example 5. Example 5. If 1 and 2 are complements with the measure and angle of angle 1, so you're right off the bat, you're seeing that they're complements. Complements means they're going to have a sum of 90. 1 and 2 are complements. Measure of angle 1 is 2x plus 20. And the measure of angle 2 is 3x plus 15. Find x. Well, if they're complementary, I know they add to 90. So 2x plus 20 plus 3x plus 15 has to equal 90 degrees. So then I'm going to solve that. So I've got 2x and 3x, which is 5x, 20 and 15, which gives me 35, equals 90. And then I'm going to subtract the 35 to the other side. So 5x equals 55. And then, of course, my last step is to divide both sides by 5. So x equals 11. If you want to check your answer, let's take the 11 and plug it into the two angles and see if they add up to 90. So I have 2x plus 20, so that would be 2 times 11 plus 20. And I have 3x plus 15, that would be 3 times 11 plus 15. Let's see what we get. 2 times 11 is 22, plus 20 is 42 degrees. 3 times 11 is 33, plus 15 is 48 degrees. Indeed, if you add these together, you get 90. So you know I've done it correctly. For example 6, fill all the missing angles. So we're going to use everything that we just practiced and everything we just used to answer all these questions. So what I'm going to do before I even look at this paper, these questions, I'm going to fill in all the angles I can. All right, first one. You see the 110? Imagine you've got your blue lines there. These are two intersecting lines. 110 is opposite of 2, so what's 2? 2 also has to be 110 because they're what kind of angles? Vertical angles. All right, so let's look at 45 and angle 3. The 45 and the 3 are vertical angles, so that means angle 3 has to be 45 degrees because they're vertical. So there you just use vertical angles twice. Okay. Now, how do we find 4 and 1? I do know 4 and 1 are congruent or equal because they're vertical. You see the straight line here? If I were to eliminate this half of the picture, you see that the straight line is formed there with 110, 45, and 4, which means anytime we have a straight line, what do all the angles have to add up to? 180. So 110 plus 45 plus 4 gives us 180. So 110 plus 45 plus the measure of angle 4, whatever that is going to give us 180 degrees. So I've got 110 and 45, that's 155, plus the measure of angle 4, you could also call it x if you want to, equals 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for measure of angle 4. So minus 155 here, minus 155 here. So the measure of angle 4 is 25 degrees. So if 4 is 25 degrees, it is vertical with 1, that is also 25. So you've just found all your angles. So the measure of angle 1 is 25 degrees. The measure of angle 2 is 110 degrees. The measure of angle 3 is 45 degrees. And the measure of angle 4 is 25 degrees. For the last one, CD is perpendicular, and that's what this symbol means right here. This symbol means perpendicular. It's like writing a little miniature right angle. That means perpendicular. And what does perpendicular mean? Perpendicular means 90 degrees. So these two make a 90-degree angle. CD is perpendicular to AB, 90 degrees. That means this is also 90. The measure of angle 1 is 6x minus 3 degrees. Remember, you always label. The measure of angle 2 is 7x minus 11 degrees. Find the value of x. Since they're perpendicular, what do we know they add up to? 90. So 7x minus 11, which is this angle, plus 6x minus 3, which is this angle, is going to equal 90. So now we just combine the like terms. So I've got 7x and 6x, that's 13x, and then I've got negative 11 and negative 3, which is negative 14, equals 90. So I'm going to move the 14, so plus 14 plus 14, 13x equals 104. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 13. Both sides by 13, okay? And when you divide both sides by 13, you get x equals 8. So 8 is x. If you want to check your answer, you plug the 8 back in. So 7 times 8 minus 11, and 6 times 8 minus 3. When you combine these two angles, you should get 90. So 7 times 8 is 56, minus 11 is 45. 6 times 8 is 48, 56 minus 11 is 45. 6 times 8 is 48, minus 3 is 45. 45 plus 45 does give us 90, therefore your answer is correct.